So I'm really excited because here at E3 I was looking for a specific game, a game coming out somewhat soon, and that is Battlecry from Bethesda. We already looked at their first trailer, and I'm about to get the hands-on experience. I'm really excited for that. And this is Viktor Antonov. He is the creative director behind this game. And before I thought that this was a very stylistically beautiful game, but I've learned today that it has a lot of meaning behind the hyper-realism and the adrenaline you feel when you're most likely close to death. What feelings did you hope to convey through this game, at least on the artistic level?
So I wanted to take the opportunity to use games as an art form where we don't have to deal with reality, but we have a subjective viewpoint. So because this is explosive, intense combat experience, I looked at what World War I soldiers were feeling like in the trenches. So when adrenaline pumps through your veins, you don't see detail and things that are not essential. This is a great tool to tell stories by simplifying rather than adding stuff. So the sky is very painterly, everything is stylized, and you only see the big essential shapes and little glimpses of things that really matter.
And I hear as we get closer to the release date, we will be releasing the two other, the Gadgeteer and the Brawler.
Yeah, there are two classes that you didn't get to play today that are just being built and animated right now, and they'll be in the next version.
I like that we're able to have both genders readily available in each class, at least. So we're in this world where World War I had happened way before that it happened in our current world. What inspired you to go this route?
Since, again, this is a short cycle, intense game, when you play games today, very often you use a sniper or a rifle. Even in real war, things happen remote controlled with bombings and planes and things like this. So I wanted to get to the essence of what war is about, which is brutal violence in your face. So that's why I rolled back to how were soldiers feeling in the trenches when they ran out of bullets, and there was just a bayonet and brass knuckles and things like this. But also wanted to bring some beauty and like a bit of a glorious adventure feel to this and an epic feeling. So this is what inspired me to start this. And you mentioned genders, and again, comparing it to war nowadays, there's a lot of girls in the army, US Army, UK Army, and all the armies in the world. So it was an interesting exercise to design characters that have a bit of grace and beauty, but they're dangerous and very powerful at the same time.
This game is a wonderful meeting of brutality and beauty, as we've said and seen in many of the promotional materials, and I think that really does come through. An interesting part was the post-game, even when we're able to see that newspaper come up with the headlines and help. I think it's supposed to help create a certain kind of community or camaraderie while playing the game. Can you talk about that a little bit?
This part goes story related to, we're doing a ritualistic war, sort of like duels used to be in the 19th century. So there's no necessarily hate and savagery between the soldiers after the war is over, but you know, there's a ritual of saluting, again, like in old-fashioned warfare. And also the community will have a better chance to just have more fun and grow and enjoy this as an experience together.
What is your favorite class out of the five, you would say?
My favorite from the Royal Marines would be the Brawler, who you haven't seen yet. He has this metallic fist arm because he's a war amputee, and he has a mechanical arm, and he's a really wild, savage character that's very powerful and very charismatic. And of course, from the Cossack faction, Vera, the Enforcer, the girl that you see here, and she has a comic book about her backstory and origins that's in the works right now as well, created by the studio.
She was very heavily featured in the trailer I saw. Yes. And I liked that we were able to close and open with this really iconic pose that she was doing. I felt like it had a lot of weight to it. So in games that have our multiplayer online fighting somewhat in this genre, it tends to be somewhat comical, but this mood, does it ever verge into the comedic, or is it more focusing on the artistry and the beauty and the brutality of war?
There should be a level of lightness and a surreal element to this. Shouldn't be taken too seriously. That's why we have very stylized blood splashes and over-the-top gore. So there should be a moment of humor in everything, even in real war, so soldiers can put up with it. So there's definitely a touch of humor, but we have three ways of narrating the story. Through the actual game, which is the tip of the iceberg, and it's really the last minutes of the soldiers' lives. Through comic books that it'd be discovering soon, through the big picture, and also the cinematic trailer. And each one of these media have their own tonality.
I think it's really rich, and there's a reason why I'm very excited for this game. So the beta will be out in 2015 for people to join in, and then sometime after that we will be seeing the full version.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thanks so much for talking to us and taking time out of your schedule.
Well, thanks for your interest.